Welcome to the fourth Trouble with Homophones video. I'm Justin Rempel. Remember, a homophone is a word that sounds the same as another word, but it's spelled differently and it means something different. We're taking a look at some of the most commonly confused homophones in the English language. Nose, nose, and nose. There are three different versions of this word. NOS is not very common, but that is actually the correct plural of the word no. You don't use this a lot, but you might hear it in a sentence like this. We have heard many no's, yeses and no's. There's also an alternate spelling. You can spell it N-O-E-S. Another time, if you see NOS in text, it might be referring to the word numbers. NO is a common abbreviation for the word number, and NOS is an abbreviation for numbers. If you see this in text, it should be followed by a period because it is a shorthand or nickname or abbreviation for the word numbers. So numbers 1 to 5 are the most important. Pay attention to number 3. You'll notice in this text spelling that number is spelled N-O period, numbers N-O-S period. But when we're reading it out loud, we still pronounce it number and numbers. We don't say no or nose. Of course, most commonly, nose is referring to the body part, N-O-S-E, or K-N-O-W-S. Pay attention to that silent K. This is a common action word, a verb. It's a third person present form of the verb know, which means to understand something, be aware of something. She knows a lot of random facts. One and one. If you listen closely, these words are actually pronounced slightly differently, but when we're just using them in common speech, they often kind of blend together. One is a number. It's the first number in our counting. It means single only. There's just one of them. We lost by 1 point. Won, W-O-N, is an action word. It's a verb. It is the past tense of win. Triumphed, was victorious. It's the opposite of lost. We won the baseball game. Pray and pray. When this word is spelled with an A, it's an action word for showing one's devotion or speaking to a deity, making a request. So Daniel prayed for safety from the lions. When it's spelled with an E, it's still pronounced prey, but it means the victim of a hunt. The lion ate its prey. Or you can use it as a verb to prey on something, to hunt and kill something. Principal and principal. Principal with an AL at the end is referring to the most important or main thing. You can use it as a describing word like that. The principal city in France is Paris. Or you can use it as a noun for the person with the most authority. Usually we're talking about the leader of a school, principal. The handy mnemonic or memory device that I've heard is the principal is your pal. P-A-L is English slang for buddy. The principal called a staff meeting at the school. We can also use this word as a financial term for a starting sum of money. We are going to give you a principal of $5,000. The other spelling with L-E at the end refers to a fundamental truth, source, basis, rule, or belief. So we believe in principles of trust, honor, and love. Read and read and read and read. This is a word that's very easy to get confused and mixed up. You'll see that both these homophones have the word R-E-A-D, but there are actually two different ways to pronounce it, read or read, and both ways of pronouncing it have commonly confused homophones, so we have to be really, really careful. If we have R-E-A-D, read, that's an action word that means to understand printed text. I want to read this whole book, okay? It's the present form, kind of the normal version of this verb read, understanding printed text in front of us. It's a homophone with the word reed, R-E-E-D, which is a noun. It's a tall, thin plant, usually found near water. The blackbird perched on a reed. However, R-E-A-D can also be pronounced read when it's the past tense of the same verb to understand printed text. We read that story yesterday. So it's the same spelling, different pronunciation, depending whether it's present or past tense. It's not readed, it's read in the past. We read that story yesterday. Of course, this word red is a homophone with the color, and that color is spelled R-E-D. It's the color of blood, it's the color of ketchup. These are red things. Real and real. When this is spelled R-E-A-L, it's an adjective or adverb referring to something that's true, actual, or very. You are a real friend. That fish is real big. I think technically the adverb should be really. That fish is really big with an ly at the end. But often, just in common usage when we're talking, we say real. That fish is real big. The other kind of reel, R-E-E-L, is a cylinder that we wrap rope or wire around, or it's an action to wind line around a reel, a cylinder. And we usually use this word when we're talking about fishing. The fishing line is jammed in the reel. I'm going to reel in this fish. You usually hear that as a fishing term. Right, right, and right. There are three words. They're all homophones with each other, and they are all fairly common words. Right, R-I-G-H-T, is a describing word, an adjective or adverb that means correct, true, or good. This is the right way to live. You can also use it as an adverb to mean completely. The truck slid right off the icy road. We can use this word as an interjection, which is like an exclamation of agreement or affirmation. Right, that's where I put my glasses. We can also use this as a noun for something that is correct, fair, deserved, or good. You have every right to be angry. We talk about human rights. You have the right to do this. You have the right to remain silent. We can also use it as a verb or an action word for putting something back in an upright position. So let's right the road sign that got knocked over. There's lots of uses for this very common word. Be careful with the spelling. It has that silent GH in the middle. If we see right spelled R-I-T-E, this is probably the least common of the three words. It's a noun for a religious or social custom or practice. So learning to drive is a rite of passage. Communion is a Christian rite. That's R-I-T-E. Write, W-R-I-T-E, is a very common verb. That means to make words. I'm going to write a short story about driving my car. Roll and roll. Roll, spelled R-O-L-E, is a noun, and it refers to a person's part in something. Often it's a theater term or a movie film term for the part that someone plays when they're acting. You will play the role of the evil villain. But we can also talk about role in other contexts. My role in life is to be a teacher. Roll, spelled R-O-L-L, is a noun for something that is round and cylindrical, or a verb to move by going around and around in a circle. I need another roll of toilet paper. Can you roll up your blanket and put it away? There's also the very common expression, I'm on a roll, which means that you're getting good at something by doing it over and over again. Kind of thinking about that repetition, the cyclical repeating of things over and over. Seen and scene. Scene, spelled with that silent C, S-C-E-N-E, is a noun for a sequence of action in a story or the place where something happened. This is the scene of a crime. In the first scene, we meet the main character. In the next scene, we meet her best friend. It's a story word or a location word. Seen, spelled S-E-E-N, is a verb for the past participle of see. I have never seen a bug so big. We had seen a bigger bug before. Usually we use this word with a helping verb, has, had, or have, something like that. Way and way, two different words, very different spelling, pronounced the same. Way, spelled W-A-Y, is a noun for the path or route. Is this the way home? But way, spelled W-E-I-G-H, very tricky spelling, lots of silent letters, is a verb for finding out how heavy something is. We need to weigh the pig to see how much it has grown. Weak and weak. Weak, spelled with an A, W-E-A-K, is an adjective. It's the opposite of strong. It means feeble. I need to work out more because I am really weak. If it's spelled with a double E, W-E-E-K, it's a noun for 7 days. It's a measurement of time. We've been exercising every day this week. Weather and weather. Weather, spelled W-E-A-T-H-E-R, is a noun for the state of the atmosphere at a certain time. The weather was sunny, but now it is stormy. Weather, spelled with a W-H at the start, W-H-E-T-H-E-R, is a conjunction expressing doubt between two choices. We did not know whether to go outside or stay inside.